Hi, my name is Anna Jacyszyn, and I'm a curious mind who wants to meet interesting people. That's why this show is called Whattaya Say with Anna J. So, should we go and meet somebody interesting?
Hi, and thanks for joining us today on Whattaya Say with Anna J. Today, I'm really excited because I have a renowned female Canadian chef. She's been educated at the Dubreuil French Culinary Academy as well as the Vancouver Community College. She is an author of 4 cookbooks, owned and operated restaurants, a cafe, and an artisanal grocery store. Her food has been featured in magazines and other publications, and she's the winner of Chopped Canada. She's also a competitor at Top Chef Canada, and recently, my guest has been awarded the Julia Child Legacy Scholarship from La Dame Escoffier, and well, she's my friend and she's my guest today. Please welcome Chef Shelly Robinson.
Hello. Hi, Anna. Good. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh,
this is fun.
Thank you so much for being here because this whole show is about chatting with really amazing women who have such great stories. And one of your stories, every time I hear about you and a friend talks about you or I read about you, I get more excited. So,
you're so kind.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying that. So, let's just circle back because I want to know about your journey to now. But I'm so excited because this is very recent. The award for La Dame Escoffier. Let's just chat about that for a minute because a lot of people don't know what that is. So you can tell us a bit.
Well, La Dame Escoffier is an international organization of professional women who are in the hospitality field. Mm-hmm. So founded by Julia Child and, has been in existence for decades now. Yeah. The sole purpose of the organization is really to help women in the industry through fundraising, to provide scholarships so that women can get greater insight and intel and learnings on specific areas that they want to achieve more knowledge on.
Yeah. More on the culinary side, though.
Not necessarily. No. There's wine, of course, is involved in that. The culinary side, women that are in the media, who are writing articles, who are authors. So all having to do with hospitality and, of course, the culinary. So for me, I was very fortunate to be recognized and was invited to apply for a scholarship and was awarded a scholarship. And I had always had a lifelong dream to go and learn how to make cheese.
Oh, wow.
So that's what my scholarship was for. So I went to Massachusetts to a wonderful farm called Shy Brothers Farm. Okay. And I spent, weeks there learning where the milk comes from and the cows and how they go through the whole process right to the end, which was actually getting involved in the cheese making process.
Oh my goodness.
It's a great experience.
Did you make different types of cheese from goats to like camembert to this or what?
No, it was just the cow milk cheese. Okay. And then they had a couple of different versions that they made. And of course, cheese making is a long process. So it was a short window that I had, but it was really.
So you got some names on your cheese?
No, my names.
Oh, too bad. I want to know. I want to eat the Shelly Robinson cheese.
No, maybe one day I'll let you know if that ever happens.
I have a nickname, but I used to be called back in England called La Reine de Fromage, the Queen of Cheese, because I'm really quite geeky and stupid. Not stupid.
Okay. Cheese in a different way.
Cheese in a different way. And I was just told, you just mentioned, so don't forget. You just got into...
Yes, so I was inducted into La Dame. So I'm actually a dame now. And so I don't have my medal, but you kind of get a medal. And it's a great honor and it's a recognition of your peers that you've achieved a certain, I guess, you've made it kind of thing, kid.
Goodness.
And so that's fun as well. But the great thing about it is I get to interact with smart, savvy business women, professionals who are, at the top of their game. And get involved in some of the fundraising as well that is so helpful to bring up some of our our younger folk who are wanting to get into this industry.
I love it, and we've also, me and my husband always supported the Scoffier fundraiser, so I was really excited, particularly about that as well.
Yeah.
I mean, food, don't get me started. So I wanted to ask you about also kind of what was the spark that got you interested in fueling your passion, and what ignites you? Because you had to start somewhere to follow a journey. So what was that?
Yeah. Great question.
Oh, good.
You know, I mean, I was very lucky that I was exposed to good food at a young age. I had, my grandparents had a little place down in Penticton, and they had a little farm there with the garden and the fruit trees and all that kind of stuff. So it was very, you know, natural. You know, it was canning, it was jams, it was preserving, and I really kind of got into that. I thought that was a great thing, but I didn't know anything else either when I was a kid, because, you know, I didn't have McDonald's or fast food or Costco or any of those kinds of things. So I was really kind of into food as a kid, but I didn't know where it was going to go. And so I sort of floundered around in my early career, not knowing what to do. I got a couple of little gigs where I was working in the kitchen, and I thought, wow, this is really cool. I love the uniform. It was, you know, okay, I'm going to commit. I'm going to go to cooking school.
Okay.
And, you know, everybody was like, oh my God, don't do it. You're crazy. Why would you want to do that? Why do you want to work so hard and put in those hours? Don't you know the hours that they work? And kitchens are hot, and, you know, people yell at each other and stuff like that, which was true. I didn't know that at the time. But somewhere along the line, I was, you know, looking at cookbooks, and I was trying to get inspiration. I came across this cookbook, which I have with me today, called City Cuisine.
Yeah.
There's two female chefs, Susan Fenninger and Mary Sue Milliken, and they're chefs today, very successful. But I looked at this book, and I looked at the pictures, and I thought, their cool hair, you know, their rolled up sleeves.
Yeah.
And stuff. And they were opening a restaurant in LA, and I thought, I want to do that. That's me. That's what I want.
That's you.
That's what I can do. Right. And it gave me, you know, gave my career, you know, some relevance. You know, previous to that, it was all men.
Right.
You know, and I was like, I don't really look up to my big French chef or my, you know, I just had two French chefs. One was a big fat guy who was, you know, kind of hungover all the time, and another guy that was just really looked down on women in the kitchen.
Oh, man.
And I thought, you know, I don't know if I can do this. But when I saw these gals and how they were able to make a career, and we were working together, and the success that they were getting, I thought, yeah, I can do that. And it kind of set me on my path.
And so that got you a focus, that got you and when you were talking, so what was your first kind of, where somebody said, Chef Robinson or Chef Shelly, what do you think? And you changed the conversation, because I know chefs, when I was a waitress in London, they would just either demoralize what I have as assets, or just yell at me for their fault. Yeah. So what was your...
You know, to this day, it's still very hard for me to hear, you know, chef, you know, because it's just, you know, the classic culinary brigade system is based on the army. And that's how it's set up. It's very high hierarchy, right? So, you know, and, you know, it was, you know, the chef with the tallest hat. You would always know who the head chef was by the hat, right?
Right. I didn't know that.
And then down the ranks and down the ranks. So it was very military style. And so it still bothers me a little bit to this day when someone says, hey, chef, you know, or chef, you know. I mean, it's a sign of respect. But, you know, everybody deserves respect, you know, in the kitchen. So it was many years on in my career, I can tell you that, before I actually got that.
You felt okay.
I felt like, hey, not only do I know what I'm doing, but other people are listening to me now. It took a really long time, because I was leading kitchens where I was the leader, and I was the only female in the kitchen.
Yeah. That is so scary.
Yeah, it was.
in a situation like that, what do you do to de-stress or stay focused or just remain who you are without getting the tallest hat or saying, I've got a big ego, so now I want the tallest hat? Like, why are you still so gracious and humble, and what do you do to de-stress? Like just that kind of focus, just so that we can all know, because I'll tell you, everybody has days like that. So just hearing from somebody who lives it continuously.
Well, my life is a lot different now than it was. But, you know, I mean, I was always physically active. I always had, you know, other interests. You know, I had pets that I adored. You know, I would spend time doing things like that I really enjoyed, that would give me the balance. But, you know, I worked very hard, and I was very good. I'm very good at what I do. And that in of itself, you know, I think played out, you know, very successfully to me, because I didn't have to yell at people, and I didn't have to, you know, wear a big hat.
Yeah. And that's where you get your grounded calm, just because of your sense of, I know who I am.
Yeah.
Damn, I wish I had that.
Most days.
We are going to be doing a little demo later on, and you're going to show us your knives and some tools and things like that. But I just wanted to double check. Let's do something fun. What's a dish that you love doing that is easy for you but impresses somebody at a dinner party? Just quickly.
Just quickly.
Yes, the top of your.
I will, my blancat of rabbit is probably one of it's a signature dish of mine, for sure. It's a dish that just blows people's mind because usually they've never had rabbit before.
Yeah.
And they're terrified to try it. B, it is absolutely delicious. So it's unusual, it's delicious, it's not what people expect. You know, I braise the leg, I do the loin in a different manner. And it's just something that's very special.
And what do you use for a side with it?
It depends.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll do a polenta, or sometimes I don't do a side at all. I'll just, you know, I'll have the vegetables very much on their own as this, you know, their own stars.
Okay.
As a complete dish, I've done it a lot with polenta. You know, I mean, it walks that French-Italian line.
Okay.
The dish itself.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah. So it's many more, but that's the one that comes to mind.
I love that. We're going to talk in a minute more to Chef or Shelly Robinson.
Just Shelly.
So we are back into the demo situation with Shelly Robinson. And she has brought her crafts, because, you know, every single person who has they need their tools. So these are the tools that Chef Shelly uses when she is creating her masterpieces. And I think you can talk about them much better than me, but they're all handcrafted. And show us.
Yeah. So, I mean, having good knives is an important part of cooking.
Yes.
Yeah, whether you're a chef or not.
Oh, I know.
You know, I mean,
knives is a pet peeve.
You know, you need the right tools to do the job. So over the years, I have had many different types of knives, and knives have evolved a lot too over the years. When I started out, where there were these heavy German knives that, you know, would hurt my wrists, my hands would be hurting. And over the years, I bought different types of knives. But recently, I discovered the beauty of beautiful artisan handmade Japanese knives. And Japanese steel is very, very strong compared to what we use in North America and in Europe. And so the blades last a lot longer. There's a few different styles of knives. This one it's called a gyuto, and a gyuto is a typical chef's knife. So this would be a knife that would be used for, you know, all chefs would have one of these at least in their kit, and at home everybody would probably have a chef knife.
Right.
The traditional style of blade, the bolster, this is the handle, and this is a traditional bolster. So this is a European style bolster.
Yeah. My mother has a knife like that, but like that, but
yeah,
that style
is very, very, very sharp. And it is capable of doing, like I said, many tasks from slicing meat to cutting bigger vegetables because it's the longer blade. And it is a very really nice sharp blade on there. So gyoro in Japanese means cow sword. So when you think cow sword, it's going to be a bigger style knife. So that's one of my chef knives. That's one of my favorites. I use that one a lot. That's kind of like my everyday knife.
I like that you have them each covered.
Yeah. This little guy, this is another one called a bunka, and a bunka means culture. So this is a knife you should have, really, Anna. Right? This is a blue carbon. So this is made up of an extremely hard carbon metal, handmade. You see the hammered finish. And this has got a Japanese handle on it. So they don't make their knives to necessarily the same way. You can see this is a Western style handle, but they care less about the handle and more about the blade.
The blade.
Yeah, 100%.
This actually feels nice.
Is that nice?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I use this one for little jobs, for doing precision kind of cutting. And that's also, here's one of my big guns. So this is gyoro as well. And this is also another chef knife. It's got a really neat little finger notch there.
Yeah.
So when you're buying knives, you should put them in your hand and try them, right?
Exactly.
See how they feel the balance, is it too heavy for you? Is it too light for you? And this again is the blue carbon. Nice. So this knife is, you think, oh wow, it's strong. It is strong, but it's also very fragile. This knife is not meant to cut bones or concrete or open jars.
Open jars.
You've been to my house, I hide my knives away. I only have certain ones out for certain people.
Use when I cut.
And so that's a really
I love that little that finger.
The finger notch, yeah,
is very important.
And here's another style of knife, which again, a santoku. So santoku means the three virtues. So in Japanese culture, this would be, or the three challenges or the three tasks. And so, yes, so this knife is good for meat, fish, and veg, for slicing, dicing, and mincing. And you can see it is a more of a smaller knife.
Yeah, and it's got a wider thing, so you can do that.
Yes, exactly.
And I was going to ask you, can you do that?
Of course, you can slice. You want to keep your hands away from the blade as much as possible, right?
That's the one thing that I cut very slowly.
Okay.
And I'm doing.
That's all right.
Don't want to hurt myself.
So that's basically, a kind of a lineup. I'm going to use that one for cutting. This one is this is a boning knife.
Oh,
So this is used for when you're like wanting to take the bones off of meat and fish. So it's quite a rigid knife. It's not too flexible, and the shape of the knife allows you to get close into the bones so that you're not cutting too much of the meat away.
That's interesting, because I do have one of those, but I don't know what to do with it.
You don't do chopping with it?
No.
Okay.
Actually, it's a little bit more like a paring knife.
Okay. Paring knife is also a good.
Learning so much.
A good knife, all-round knife to have in your kit. It doesn't have to be expensive. I always have cooking shears. Okay. I use those for lots of things, and I get very mad at my wife when she tries to use them for other things other than what for cooking. But I'll use these for cutting bones. If I debone a chicken, I'll use this. I'll cut right through there instead of using my knife.
That's amazing.
And then I always have my spoons.
That is brilliant. What do you use the spoons for?
I use them.
A lot of people just have the teaspoons.
Yeah, no. I use them for everything, for stirring, for tasting, for, making beautiful little shapes with ice cream, for saucing. Just many, many different uses. And I fell in love with spoons at a young age.
And I'm just going to show one of my favorite tools.
Do it. Let's see.
I'm finding that I have lose my strength. And I found this, and it's a simple plastic thing.
It's not
but
cool.
Instead of doing that, it was really hard.
Okay. No way. Wow, I need that.
I honestly, I bought these for so many people because of the grip.
I'm always like banging it on the counter and trying to get the vacuum seal to pop.
So I will buy you this for Christmas.
Okie dokie. Now, what about peelers?
No, what is that? Like, yes, I love a peeler.
So this is the brand of peelers that I like to use. See how beautiful and smooth that comes off like that? And it's just one straight, very sharp blade.
Very sharp.
Highly recommend.
Oh, okay. We have to have a peeler in our lives. One of those can openers. Now,
So a lot of what I see when people are doing chopping is that they're, everything's uneven. Vegetables are not square.
No.
They shouldn't be anyway.
and that's where I'm afraid.
And so then you get into a lot. So I always say you always cut on a flat surface. Okay? And keep it safe. The other thing is cutting board should always have a damp towel underneath.
I saw that on another program. Why is that?
So it's not slipping around. If it doesn't have that underneath there and you go to press, it slips, right? And then you could cut yourself as well. So in speaking of safety, so we want to make sure that we have a flat surface for what we're cutting on. We've got a damp towel and that we're using a sharp knife. Everybody's afraid of sharp knives, but it is way more dangerous to be using a dull knife because you're exerting so much pressure and you can slip and cut yourself. So you see, I just made a few little cuts there. Yeah. So from here, now we can do julienne.
I know that word.
And from a julienne, do you know what we can do from there?
No.
Well, we're going to call it it's a dice, but it's also called a brunoise. Brunoise, which is a very small dice.
A brunoise.
Brunoise of carrot.
I like that. And so what would you do with that?
You would use that for garnishing.
For garnishing?
Yeah, or you could go in your sauces. I do brunoise of vegetable in my blanquette to wrap it.
Yeah.
Just a little bit nicer. But again, you can change the size up too, right? I mean, if you want to have a little bit of a thicker, then we'll do a little bit of a bigger cut here. Right.
Oh.
And now we have a dice. Now we have a medium dice.
Beautiful. Now, what is the thing? Do we have 2 seconds? Because I really want to know what is the thing when people are chopping up and they close their and chop really fast. I mean, I chop really slow.
Okay, well,
but I've seen people just kind of like that.
Sure.
Why do you feel so confident doing that? Because of what?
Well, I think you just get you just have experience,
and that I have no idea.
So I'm doing the onion. I'm going to do it really nice and fine.
Okay.
I'm not going too fast. I think when you're just, sometimes people are just showing off too, right? But take your time and have a good knife and just get to know the knife. And keep your fingers in so that you don't cut your fingers off. You don't want to be like this,
That's what I wanted to ask.
But you're exactly.
Yes,
and you use your fingers as a guide as well when you're chopping.
Okay.
You see?
And I see. So that this bit.
Right.
Well,
Moving it back.
So much from Shelly, and I cannot wait to be invited over for dinner.
Yes, it's true. I do owe you a dinner.
I don't know anything. I owe you, but we're going to be back for our What Do You Say with Anna J. Questionnaire. I'll see you in a minute. So we're back with Shelly Robinson, just Shelly, Chef Shelly Robinson.
You can, Chef.
Thank you. I will. I love calling you Chef. Anyway, we have this thing that we ask everybody at the end of the show. So everyone has a different answer, but it's the same questions. Are you ready to let everyone know a little bit more about you?
Okay.
All right. So, best sandwich.
Bacon, lettuce, and tomato and peach.
And peanuts.
Try it.
Oh my goodness. I will.
Toasted, of course.
Toasted peach?
Toasted bacon, lettuce, tomato, and peach.
Okay, I've never tried that. What's one thing that you own that you really should throw out?
Oh, gosh. Oh.
I know.
Probably sneakers. I have quite a few pairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I always think, oh, yeah, I'll use them for that or this or that or what.
Gardening. And
Yeah.
What is the scariest animal?
A bear.
A bear.
Yeah.
Oh,
Terrified of bears.
okay. That's good. That's good to know. I won't put a bear in your Christmas hamper. Apples or oranges?
Ooh, so hard.
Yeah, I know for a chef.
Oh, man.
You got to pick one.
I'm going to pick apples.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to say apples because there are so many, hundreds and hundreds of varieties of heritage apples that are being lost. So I'm going to support the apples. They just can be used in so many things. They're savory, they're sweet, they're everything. I love oranges too.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. And, that's a hard one.
But you are from BC, and this is our apple country. Yeah.
right.
Okay, good. Thank you for supporting the apple. Not that I don't like oranges either. Have you ever asked someone for their autograph?
Yes.
Who?
Julia Child.
You met Julia Child?
Yes, I did. Yeah, years ago. I took it. She was doing a book signing at Sur La Table in Seattle, and I loaded up the car and off we went. And I got to quickly shake her hand and oh my God, and she signed my book. Yeah, it was a great moment.
I'm literally in a bit of tear right now. What do you think happens when you die?
Not much. I think you just kind of out into the air, you float around and you become a molecule that maybe attaches itself to something and maybe you become a star or, I don't know, maybe you fly up someone's nose. I don't know. But you explode, you go out into the universe and spread out and do your thing.
Okay. So it's not conscious. It's just, okay. I like that. Favorite action film, movie?
Well, any James Bond movie. Good. Yeah.
Such a good.
Any James Bond.
So I put it in.
Yeah.
And me to know what my friends are.
Love James Bond.
You get one song to listen to for the rest of your life. What is it?
It would be the Beatles. Here Comes the Sun.
Sorry, I just had to take a moment for there. Yes, it is. Favorite smell?
Garlic cooking slowly in olive oil. I'm a chef, right?
Least favorite smell?
The smell that comes out of the back of a bad fast food joint from the deep fryer.
Oh, okay, good answer. Flat or sparkling?
Sparkling.
Yes. Most used app on your phone?
My Garmin fitness app.
Okay, now what's a Garmin fitness app?
So your Garmin watch that tracks your sleep and your fitness and your steps and all of that every morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to check how much sleep I had, how much REM sleep I had.
Oh,
Yep.
I have to do that. My husband talks about that, and I have to think about it. Describe the rest of your life in 5 words.
Oh, I don't know. 5.
Five. I know.
I don't know how many words this is. The best is yet to come. That's 7 words.
The best is yet to come. 6 words.
6 words. The best is yet to come.
How about best is yet to come?
There we go.
There we go.
Yet to come.
And last question. Do you think that Kelowna needs a new performing arts center?
I think Kelowna needs a lot more that has to do with supporting the arts. Absolutely. Whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
I'm not really in the know for that, but I just know that we're definitely lacking in space for artists to show their stuff.
Yeah, there's so much talent.
Yeah.
And we need the technology behind us.
Yeah.
Well, indeed. That is all for my show today with Chef Shelly Robinson. What do you say with Anna J? Thanks so much for coming and joining us. And thank you, Shelly, for coming and joining me.
That was fun.
Oh, good. I'll see you next time.